Joining me now is President of Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton. Tom, it's good to see you. Members of Congress online, sleuths like data Republicans and some journalistic outfits are tracing Democrats using taxpayer dollars to fund NGOs supported by the Communist Party of China. Critics say that those who voted to fund these enemy sympathizers and their malign activities, which, by the way, includes Republicans, have undertaken subversive actions against the people of the United States. Do you think that's a fair assessment and assertion?
Not only is it fair, but it's been true for decades. The organized left relies on federal and state and local funding for a large portion of their activities. So when they get involved in mass demonstrations that foreseeably result in violence, you would think that responsible public officials would think twice about supporting these entities, but it just happens time after time because it's kind of a circular operation. They support the leftist outside groups. The leftist outside groups provide political support for them. And, there's simply nothing comparable on the conservative side. I'm not aware of any major conservative group that gets any notable federal tax or federal tax money or state or local money.
Yes, and I don't know of any conservative group that actually funds NGOs that are sympathetic to communists. This goes directly into your Freedom of Information lawsuit. Yes. Your Freedom of Information lawsuit against USAID for information about how President Otto Penn's regime allocated $27 million to other enemies of the United States, the Hamas terrorists that rule over Gaza. A few days ago, you found out Pam Bondi's Justice Department convinced a federal court that Judicial Watch allegedly waived your request, which means you'll have to file all this stuff all over again. What is going on here? Do you think this is Pam Bondi or one of these career left-wing holdovers in DOJ?
Well, ultimately, the leadership of the Justice Department is responsible for the positions the agency takes in court. And also the same goes for the State Department, because this is a State Department decision. So what happened is, at least in one grant, they gave $7 million to an entity. They didn't want to tell us the entity's name because they were worried they'd be targeted. And the federal judge said, who are they going to be targeted by? Israel? Are you suggesting Israel's targeting aid workers on purpose? And of course, that's obviously not true. What was at issue under the Biden administration was funding terrorist fronts in Gaza using tax dollars. So they finally said, okay, we'll tell you who we're giving the $7 million to. It's a Catholic group. But this group has sub-awardees in Gaza. They don't want to tell us the names of the sub-awardees. So the people on Gaza on the ground who are getting our tax dollars, and they went in and told the court, suggested that we had waived our right to gain access to that core information, which is bunk. But in the end, I suspect the court's going to kick us out, and we're going to have to go back to the beginning again. So here we have the Bondi Justice Department helping the Biden USAID cover up who they're giving money to in Gaza. And we all know why they don't want us to get access to the information ultimately. And it's frustrating that time after time, we have FOIA lawsuits, Freedom of Information Act lawsuits, that are handled as if there's no new president. It's not much different from the Biden or a Biden. This circumstance, if, you'd understand it if it was during the Biden administration, but this is the Trump administration. I can't imagine Trump would be happy about this.
Well, we have long-standing invites to the Attorney General and to the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, to come on this program. We have a lot to discuss with them, and praise God, one day we'll hear back. Meanwhile, a Minnesota gunman, Vance Boelter, allegedly goes out, shoots and kills a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband, then wounds a second lawmaker and his wife. Death penalty was abolished in Minnesota in 1911, so Vance Boelter's life, if he is guilty, if he's found guilty of this, is protected. But in that same state, unborn babies can be slaughtered right up until the moment of birth. To me, this is evidence of how Democrat values don't resemble American values. Heck, they don't even resemble human values. What is your take on this?
Well, that's the left's way. I mean, they've got this kind of reverse death cult that protects murderers but kills the innocent unborn. Minnesota has one of the most extreme pro-abortion laws in the country. It's celebrated by the left for allowing virtually no restrictions on abortion. I mean, up until the moment of birth. Yet this murderer, he's currently charged with second-degree murder. He's likely to be subsequently charged with first-degree murder. Even if he's found guilty, will not face the death penalty in Minnesota. So a guilty murderer, such as him, has more protections of his life than an unborn baby in the womb in the 9th month of pregnancy.
Backward, absolutely backward. Speaking of Democrat violence, Democrat lawmaker from North Carolina was advocating for the decapitation of President Trump, posting this on Facebook. We also saw James Comey and his seashell post calling for the death of the president, who's been targeted twice by left-wing extremists. My sense is that left-wingers continue to get away with all of this because they aren't held accountable. With all the violence that is now the stock in trade of the Democrat Party, shouldn't those who allegedly oppose the Democrat Party be rethinking their posture?
I'm more concerned about the law enforcement and the rule of law issue here than the political support. I presume normal people don't like to support political violence. And we've had Comey obviously threaten the life of the president by posting this. He remains a free man. Alex Padilla, the senator from California, on videotape assaults federal law enforcement. He remains a free man. We had the prosecution, thankfully, of the Democrat congresswoman up in Newark who looks to have assaulted and impeded ICE. You know, she's not in pretrial detention like what happened to the January 6ers. There's a double standard, and I'm not quite sure why the Justice Department is taking this cautious approach and not enforcing the rule of law strictly against those who know better, senators and former FBI directors.
Yeah. Democrats throw Republicans in jail for defying subpoenas. When Democrats defy subpoenas, Republicans don't do the same. Tom Fitton, sir, thank you very much.
Garland is still out there. He's defied a subpoena. He should be prosecuted.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Thank you very much, Tom Fitton. Appreciate it.